Our next story is from Nigeria. Almost 300 students were taken from their school during morning assembly. No group has taken responsibility yet. Now, if this was happening on your watch, what would you do? Send out the army? Go meet the families of the victims? Set up base in the affected town until the children are found? All good options. But Nigeria's President Bola Tinubu has different ideas. He did fly out yesterday, but he landed about 150 kilometers south of the affected village. He went to a different state. Why? To inaugurate an airport that has been renamed after him. So amid a spree of kidnappings, Nigeria's president chooses to inaugurate the Bola Tinubu airport. A crisis is unfolding under his nose, but Tinubu is busy cutting ribbons.
I told you that the best military in the world, regardless of how equipped they are, can never tackle what we call poverty, hunger, and illiteracy in any land, which is one of the major causes of insecurity in society. Yes, exactly 9 years after the 276 Chibok girls were taken away in Borno State, history has repeated itself. As you all know, about 300 students were taken away by terrorists in Kaduna State just a few days ago. That automatically means that the Nigerian government has learned nothing from the past experience. Yes, rather than tackle the critical issues in the land, the Nigerian government prefers to use what we call the carrot and stick approach and the blame game to go after trivial issues like regulation on the social media, arresting of bill with change operators, and other things that have nothing to do with the major advancement of the Nigerian people. You would agree with me that for the fear of being sanctioned, most media houses in Nigeria color-code some of these issues all in a bid to remain in business. But unfortunately, all the way from 7,645 kilometers, which is about 9 hours 45 minutes flight, a media firm all the way from India by name Firstport has washed President Bola Tinubu's dirty linen for everyone to see. Yes, they have fearlessly analyzed most of the insecurity issues in the Bola Tinubu's administration, and you want to take a look. But before I show you that video, I'd like to say this. If you know that you have any product or service that you want the world to see, do well to hit the email address on the screen and we shall put it out for the world to see. Take a look.
Our next story is from Nigeria. Last week we told you about a kidnapping. Almost 300 students were taken from their school during morning assembly. This was last Thursday. The children still haven't been found and no group has taken responsibility yet, but the kidnappers are expected to demand a large ransom for their release. Now, if this was happening on your watch, what would you do? Send out the army? Go meet the families of the victims? Set up base in the affected town until the children are found? All good options. But Nigeria's President Bola Tinubu has different ideas. He did fly out yesterday, but he landed about 150 kilometers south of the affected village. He went to a different state. Why? To inaugurate an airport that has been renamed after him. So amid a spree of kidnappings, Nigeria's president chooses to inaugurate the Bola Tinubu airport. A crisis is unfolding under his nose, but Tinubu is busy cutting ribbons, which begs the question, how tone deaf can you be? How can you ignore the plight of your citizens? These are some families from Kuriga, the village where the children were kidnapped.
We plead with the government to help us. We don't have any security in this community, no police outpost, no military presence, and no local vigilante. We are responsible for our own security, so anytime they want, they will invade the community and do whatever they feel like doing.
We don't know what to do, but we believe in God. We don't have security, no soldiers, no police to protect the school.
This problem we are facing, we are crying, looking for help from the government and God. But it is the gunmen that will decide to bring the children back.
They say they haven't received any help from the government. They're at the mercy of the bandits, and they're anxiously waiting to get their children back. In this situation, inaugurating an airport seems absurd. Now, the Nigerian government will say that they are on top of things. They have reportedly deployed the army. They're apparently working with the Air Force and local vigilante groups as well. But so far, there have been no updates on the whereabouts of the children. Meanwhile, there have been more kidnappings. On Saturday, 15 more school children were taken, this time in the country's far north. In another case, kidnappers have come out with their ransom demand. This is for 16 people who were kidnapped on the 28th of February. The kidnappers allegedly want 14 trillion naira. That's about 25 billion US dollars. Of course, that's a ridiculous amount, but it shows the impunity of the kidnappers. They've been getting bolder over the last few months. Since Tinubu came to power last May, an estimated 4,500 people have been kidnapped across the country. This is according to a consultancy based in Lagos in southern Nigeria. 4,500 kidnappings in the last 9 months on Tinubu's watch. It adds to his growing list of scandals. He's appointed his son-in-law to a high government post. His economic policies have caused the naira to crash. The people have been suffering with rising inflation, and now kidnappings are rampant again. Amid all this chaos, Tinubu chooses to put his name on an airport. It shows his misplaced priorities and utter lack of tact.
And finally, we turn our attention to Nigeria's northern Kaduna State, where on March 8th, a gang kidnapped at least 286 school children. Now, it's been about a week, and the whereabouts of the children remain unknown. There's been no breakthrough despite the deployment of dozens of search parties. And now the kidnappers have reached out with a ransom demand of 1 billion Nigerian naira. Our next report explains the unfolding crisis.
This is 13-year-old Aminu Abulahi. On the 8th of March, he left home for school as he usually would, holding hands with his elder brother, 15-year-old Aminu Usman. But the moment the two brothers reached the school, a tragedy unfolded. Panic gripped the school as motorcycle-riding armed men, cloaked in military attire, stormed in.
The bandits came on motorcycles and started shouting and shooting, and all the students ran away and went to the nearby bush. When I was running, one of the bandits was following me, but I was dodging because he was following me on a bike. I was running around looking for a way to escape, and I was able to run across the road and ran inside the bush and came back home from there.
Aminu Abulahi escaped, but unfortunately, his elder brother could not. Armed men abducted 286 children and staff members from a school in Nigeria's Kuriga. Innocent kids who went to school as students ended up as hostages. 6 days on, their parents are still waiting for their children to come home. The kidnappers have demanded a ransom of 1 billion naira, which is about $2,000 per hostage, a cruel price for the lives of innocent souls. The kidnappers have set a 20-day deadline. They say if the ransom is not paid, they will kill all 286 children.
Wow, this is really pathetic indeed. The truth is that before a person jumps on to say you want to be a leader, you must be ready for it. But unfortunately, President Bola Tinubu said we should not pity him. So Mr. President, just in case you are hearing me, do your job. You signed for it. One may begin to wonder, what about the ones that people do not see? What about the ones that media firms has not taken up to show for the world to see? Like you heard from the video, an analysis has it that over 4,500 people have been abducted since the emergence of President Bola Tinubu, which is less than a year ago. And it's unfortunate that the government has not done anything substantially critical to curb this insecurity in Nigeria, and I just hope that something will be done sooner or later. Thinking about their parents, all we can say is they need to take heart. It's unfortunate that they have found themselves to become scapegoats in the hands of the Nigerian government that have less regard for the lives of Nigerians. Take a look at some of the international organizations, some of the international nations, how they regard a life of their citizen. But like the lady said, in the midst of the insecurity, the government of the day is busy doing jamboree and prioritizing irrelevant and trivial things. It was shown the other day as Godswill Akpabio went to the funeral of Herbert Wigwe. You saw it for yourself that right in front of 3 cops that were lying in front of him, he was busy politicizing. And a lot of people went ahead to criticize him for that singular action. It goes ahead to show the kind of mindset of the Nigerian leader. In the midst of all the economic hardship that people are going through, I do not even think it has a pinch on their finger. They don't have a feeling for it. The truth is that we must realize that we must take up and take the bull by the horn. especially during the election period. Even though I know that most of the election time, these guys already have their strategies to rig the election, but we just pray that somehow, someday, this nation will finally see the light of the day, just like we had the likes of Alex Otti, who was ready to get into governance, and people are seeing the dividend of democracy. Please do also hit the comment section and drop your thoughts. Let's get to know what you think about the current happenings in the state of Nigeria, and we shall continually be here to serve you. Like I said, if you know that you have a good or service to let the world see, do well to hit the email address so that we can do well to put it out for everyone to see. Many thanks indeed to all our viewers and returning subscribers. We really do not take it lightly, as we kindly plead that you hit the like button so that YouTube can recommend this video for more people to get to see, and also do well to subscribe if you're new to our station. See you on our next video. Bye for now.